Hey everyone, I have landed safely in Hong Kong and I'm now in a hotel room, and today is my first day of quarantine. And with this video I'll show you what it's like to travel under this whole COVID situation, and I'll be telling you what my experiences are. Let's first start out with a room tour. Ba-da-dum, bum, bum. Okay, this is from the door, this is the door facing the room. So first you have the bathroom. Yeah, typical toilet bowl, shower, a sink over there, and this is a mini pantry with it used to be 6 bottles of water which they provided. And there's also a fridge here as well, a mini fridge where you can store some stuff. And this is the 2 beds. I'm sleeping on there, and this is my work area. This is the mini table that they provided. Food that I brought from home, and yeah, that's the ledge right now used to put my suitcase, and I have a window as well which can be opened. And this is my view. That's the highway, and there's a school in front of me, and I think that's a mall. Okay, now time for the experience. Alright, so first when we got to Amsterdam Schiphol airport, it was so empty. I was not used to it. Many of the shops were not open, and when we got there, none of the check-in counters were open either, and this was just 3 hours before the flight. So it's good that some fast food places were still open. We managed to get ourselves something to eat, and we just sat outside for quite a while because there's literally nothing to do in the airport. This airport is usually so busy all the time. It's like you have to always push around trying to get your way, but this time, yeah, it was like a ghost town. So we went up to the check-in area again, maybe 2 hours before, and there was only 1 check-in counter open. And there was no queue, of course, so we just checked in my luggage and it was smooth. Everything went well. From the check-in area to the gate, it only took me 10 minutes. There was no queue at the security, no queue at the immigration at all. And this was a first for me because the security lines are usually very, very long, with the immigration lines being a lot longer. So I thought this was actually nice. And when I got to the gate, it turns out that everyone who doesn't have a Hong Kong passport would have to register at the counter. That includes me. But actually all they wanted to see was that you had a document that allows you to enter Hong Kong. So for me, I had a Hong Kong residency card. And because right now the rule is that you're not allowed to enter Hong Kong unless you are a resident of this place, which I am. All the stewardess and the pilots had to all wear a mask. And all passengers have to wear a mask throughout the whole entire flight. And you're only allowed to take it out when you're eating. When I got to my seat, you will just see a big bag of snacks on your chair. This is because for long-haul flights, 12-hour flights, they'll only provide dinner, no breakfast, and they won't come by for snacks or drinks. This ensures that the contact between the stewardess or the staff and the passengers are very limited. So in that bag I had mandarins, a water bottle, some muesli bars, candy bars, and they also provided a box with a cheese sandwich. What KLM did was that they blocked off the middle seat of each row, so only the 2 sides can be occupied. And luckily enough for me, I was the only one in my row. I could put my leg up, relax while watching a movie, and I used the whole bench as well for my sleep. So it was actually pretty smooth. I didn't realize that the mask was on the entire time. I got used to it after a while. Now, when we arrived at Hong Kong, we first had to fill in many forms. No, okay, we had to fill in 4 forms in total. 2 were quarantine orders and 2 were just a survey just to ask where you've been in the past few days or whether you have had any symptoms. After filling up the forms, we had to download an app on our phone. This app actually connects to the wristbands which they'll put on you, and this wristband cannot be taken off for the whole entire duration of your quarantine, so for the whole entire 2 weeks. And there's a QR code here, so you have to register your wristband to the app. They will actually check it if you've done so you cannot escape this. And then we had to go through many checkpoints, and one of them included making sure that the contact number that we put on the form is valid. So they will call you to see if it rings. And then we had to go to another counter where they gave us more papers and also a booklet where we had to record our temperature every day and whether we've had any symptoms. So the booklet actually looks like this. Here we have to write the date, to fill in our temperature, and these are the symptoms, and so you have to tick accordingly if you experience any of them. And they also provided us with a thermometer to check our temperature every day. So from there, yeah, the usual process. From after going through all the counters, we went through immigration, and then we got our luggage. And after we got our luggage, all of us had to board a shuttle bus. We were all brought to a testing facility. So when we first got there, we had to drop off our suitcases, then got onto the bus again, and then we were brought to another building of that area where we actually had to collect our samples. So we had to go to the counter, they would give us the kits, and then we had to go to the next step where we had to watch an instructional video on how to do it. It was just like a large projector where they just showed step by step what you had to do. And then we had to go to a booth where you assign to, and that's where we spat inside a tube to wrap it up and give it to the staff again. So the staff will then send it to the lab to analyze our saliva samples. So right after that, we went into another big hall where we had to just sit on a table that was in a row corresponding to our flight. We were not the only passengers in that area, so there were also other passengers from other flights in that hall. In this hall, we had to wait for 7 hours because that's how long it took for the test results to come back. And during this time, you could go to the toilet, you can do whatever you want, you could use your laptop, fall asleep on the table. And they also provided us with a bottle of water and a ham and cheese sandwich. But other than that, it was, yeah, you really couldn't do anything. And because our flight had about 70 to 80 people, after the 7 hours, there was a staff that was announcing each of our number. And that's when they gave you additional papers and extra testing kits for you to collect saliva samples again on the 10th day of your quarantine. And they do this because they have had some cases where an individual was tested negative for the virus at the beginning, but then they contracted the virus again throughout the quarantine. So that's why they're taking extra precautions and they're making sure that we're doing 2 tests throughout this whole entire period. And you cannot bring your saliva samples to a doctor, to a hospital yourself, of course, because you're not allowed to leave the room at all. You could either ask a family member or a friend, or you could arrange for a door-to-door service. So this means that somebody will come here to collect your samples and will bring it to the lab for it to be analyzed. And it said on the paper that it will take about 3 days. And if you don't hear anything from them after the 3 days, that means that test was negative and you're good. And coming to the hotel. So the thing is, here in Hong Kong, if you are under quarantine and you stay at home with family members, they would have to be quarantined for 14 days as well. My parents have work and my sister has other obligations as well, so we don't want them staying in the house for 14 days. So that's why we chose to use a hotel instead, where I could just be quarantined on my own. And the hotel which I'm staying in now, they provided a 14-day package. They also have free breakfast every day, and that they would help to deliver the food to your doorstep whenever you need. But the thing is, there won't be any house cleaning services at all. So if you would like to change your bed sheets, you have to do it yourself. You have to put it in a bag, wrap it, and place it outside the door, and they'll bring a new sheet for you. But the good thing is that they actually already provided extra towels right there and extra linens and bed sheets, so you won't have to worry about it. And my advice for if you were to stay in a hotel, I think you should bring your own food from home, Well, I'm just speaking from an experience of this hotel particularly. The breakfast was included in the price. They provided us with porridge and chicken wings. And the porridge didn't taste like anything at all. It tasted like water. And I'm not eating chicken wings for breakfast. So it's a good thing that I brought my own muesli, and for dinner we could order from any food delivery service. That was basically my whole experience till now. But I'll keep you updated on day 7 and day 14 on my last day of quarantine. Stay tuned and I'll see you in the next vlog. Bye!